Hello YouTube family, Paul here, Paul Phillips Fix. Today we have I believe a 2006, 2007 Chrysler PT Cruiser. The radiator's leaking on this. So first thing we're going to do is drain that. I got the car up on ramps because there's a couple of things you have to access from the bottom. So it's easier to just get it up on ramps. I let the car sit for about 45 minutes or so, or an hour to cool down. I didn't want to get scolded. Removing the coolant. Just crack your radiator cap so you release the vacuum on there. Then there is a petcock, I believe, on the driver's side. I'll film that when I get underneath it, me draining the radiator and everything. What you're going to need for this is a 7mm socket to get 4 small 7mm screws out of here. Then there are a few 10mm. Some people remove the hood latch. I'm not going to do that. I'll just take this cross brace off the radiator housing and leave it on the side. Just be careful not to scratch your bumper up. You'll pull this weatherproof weather stripping off of here, seal. Gonna need that out of the way. Just fold that back a little bit. After we remove this, we're gonna when I'm down there draining the coolant, I'm gonna disconnect the fan plug. I've seen people remove the fan with it connected to the radiator. I believe it's easier to lift it out and disconnect the fan from the radiator after you get it out. It has to get separated from the condenser unit. We'll go through all of that as we go. Alright, I'm going to get under there now and drain that antifreeze. Alright, I got my 7mm socket here. I got this on Amazon, AC Delco power ratchet. $140 or 114, I don't remember, but it's a pretty nice ratchet. If you work on your car, save a lot of time with these. I was going to get the Milwaukee. I like it because it's smaller than this, but this was built really heavy and the batteries are cheaper. And it seems like it's easy to get access to parts for them. That's why I went with that brand. That was it for that grill to come off. I'm stubborn. What's going on here? There it is. Got to kind of push down on it for it to come out. You got to take those 4 7mm on, then push down on it and out a little bit. It was being stubborn. Now I believe these 6 10mm bolts have to come out. No, they're bolts. I'm using a deep wall. It was just easier to reach in there with that. I saw one of these cars that had tranny cooling lines on it, another one that didn't. I don't think mine has tranny cooling lines, but the radiator I got does. But it says it's compatible up to this year, so maybe it just goes unutilized. I hope that's going to be the case, or I'm screwed, and I hope I can get a radiator from somewhere else today. This is not my car, it's a friend of mine. I'm helping him out. I have a certain amount of feeling towards Chrysler PT Cruisers, but I don't like talking stuff about other people's cars, so you could go watch Savage Geese. Mark, the guy that runs that channel, will tell you how he feels about PT Cruisers on his review, and I'm kind of on the same page there with that. Then you have to take this 10mm bolt out right in the front here. Just lifts out, and you can lay that to the side. It's hanging on the cable, it's not going to damage a bumper or anything. Now there are 5 or 6, I believe 10mm bolts back here for disconnecting the fan, but we'll deal with them when we get to them. Now you have these 2 plastic flaps here that have these kind of like staples that go into the condenser. You got to pull this back. I'm going to get a screwdriver for under there. I got a pick tool. Maybe I can do it with that. These always come in handy. I don't want to rip that plastic, so I'm going to grab the clip and try to lift it out with that. Try to be gentle with your condenser. You don't want to beat these up too much either. Boy, these are being stubborn. They don't want to come out of there. Get a screwdriver and try it with that. Alright, I'm not having luck with these clips coming out, so I'm just trying to lift the rubber over them. Some of it's getting damaged a little. Not a big tragedy. This is very old and brittle. These are getting screwed up a little bit. Enough air is still going to get in there, it'll be fine. Alright, you got to disconnect that. Yeah, this looks like it has a separate tranny cooler down on the bottom. The tranny cooler is not connected to the radiator on this one. Oh yes? No, it's not. Nope, doesn't look to be. Alright, I'm going to get down and disconnect my fan connection. You got to, I think, depress or pry that clip open to separate that. Let me go down and see what that looks like. Give you a headache seeing the camera go all over the place. Alright, I disconnected my lower radiator hose, you saw on this camera. Now I'm doing, there's 3 10mm bolts on the passenger side, and I believe it's 2 on the driver's side, holding the condenser to the radiator. You have to separate these 2.
more shit to it here, don't they?
I hate American cars anymore.
Got a couple of Mercedes-Benz I do work on, and things seem to just be more common sense. Like they had a little consideration for the mechanic.
I guess I'm gonna have to get in there with a regular ratchet, guys. Put the pick tool in your toolbox so you don't step on it and stab yourself in the foot. This is really lovely positioning here. I gotta go get a shallow 10 millimeter. Alright, I got a shallow standard 10 millimeter. I got a 12-sided one.
A little easier to get it on the bolt. Don't have to worry about position as much. Minimal amount of movement in here. If you don't have a fine-tooth ratchet or wrench, you're gonna have a rough go of it in here.
Sorry guys, I'm gonna go see if I can get my quarter.
Okay guys, I spent nearly an hour on 2 damn plugs on this car. The one you have to get around the backside with a little screwdriver to press it, and it comes undone, the big square one. On the smaller one, you have to slide that little red piece to the right. This little red lock, you'll see this little tit sticking out a little bit on the edge. You slide that to the right like a 1/16 of an inch. Mine popped out all the way. Then you have to depress the backside of that plug. I had to get in there with a bent needle nose and hold the other side of the plug with my needle nose pliers to undo it. This car has been leaking antifreeze for a while. These things were all saturated. Maybe they got stuck together because of that, but they shouldn't be that complicated to do. The hardest part of this job for me is going to be those 2 plugs. So I wish you luck with those plugs. Take your time, don't break them. You'll figure them out, and I hope my little tips help a little bit. All right, let me see what I got to do next. I got to get under there and disconnect my lower radiator hose. Alright, now we got to get the lower radiator hose. We got both of those plugs off, which was a freaking nightmare, man. I don't think I even needed to unplug this one. I unplugged this one and it didn't even need to be unplugged. You actually only have to unplug. Nope, they both have to come out. Yep, both of them got to come out. This one you get around from the other side with a flathead, small screwdriver, depress this piece. This has to get depressed and it comes undone. And this one, you depress this back right here, this back piece. I had to hold mine, like I said, with a needle nose plier. It was really stuck together. I hope you don't have as much trouble as I did, because that was crazy. I've never had plugs give me that much of a hard time. I don't know why these engineers come up with these stupid designs. I swear to God, I think it's so people can't work on their own cars. You know? They're like booby traps, these connectors. They're not reasonable. They're absurd. There's no point for it, you know? Really. I don't see the purpose. There's a simpler way to lock something together that's more friendly for the mechanic. These right here are just nuts. Right, I'm trying to move this radiator clamp off of the hose. I'm getting rust in my eyes. Hold on a second, I got rust in my eyes. And I got glasses on too. Wear eye protection when you're working under here. I would be wearing safety glasses, but I need the prescription. I can't see up close without prescription glasses. I've tried using both of them. That doesn't work too well. This has been on here since this car is new. This clamp is like embedded in this hose. There we go. Move that back there where I can get to it easily again. I'm glad I got my standard 10mm. I got a 12-sided one. A little easier to get it on the bolt. Don't have to worry about positioning as much. I have like minimal amount of movement in here. If you don't have a fine-tooth ratchet or wrench, you're gonna have a rough go of it in here. Sorry guys, I'm gonna go see if I can get my 1/4-inch drive and get in there with that. Alright, I got in there with my 1/4-inch drive. I got a little bit more maneuverability with this. Swivel head helps a little bit. If you don't have swivel head ratchets, I recommend Pittsburgh from Harbor Freight. They've got nice fine-tooth swivel head ratchets that are very reasonably priced. And they got a lifetime warranty on them, and they have the standard length and longer handle, which give you more leverage. I've got the longer handle one here. That's my 3/8 drive. I got the standard size too. They're great. I'm getting old and broken, so I don't want to have to be fighting stuff. If I can have help with a little more leverage from a good ratchet, I'll take it. Harbor Freight is not promoting my videos, guys. I'm doing this because I bought this stuff and I love them. I have Craftsman sets too. I've actually found these to be my go-to ratchets. I had sets of SK. I used to love those, but some douchebag stole them. Now my body clip is moving. So I'm getting like 0 rotation on this. I think I'm gonna have to hold that body clip with a long screwdriver or something, because it keeps moving on me. I'm gonna get my pry tool. It's got that little metal clip that you thread into. That keeps wiggling back and forth, and I have like no room to move my ratchet down in there. I need every bit of turn that I can get out of this. I'm going to try to hold this in place with this. I don't think you can see down in there, it's a little dark, but I'm putting this on that body clip, that threaded body clip, trying to keep that from rotating back on me. I think that's working. Yes, it is. You got to get inventive, guys. Simple things can get complicated sometimes. They come up with ideas to make them simple again. I thought I was going to be done with this in about an hour, hour and a half. That ain't happening. Those clips put me through hell. They're insane. Crazy, crazy design. Feels like the screw is a foot long, but it's not. It's getting such a small rotation on it with each try. It's taking forever to get it out of there. These all get put back together with 2 bolts because nobody can get the 3rd one in there. Alright, I need a bathroom break, guys. I try to drink fluids. I gotta pee. Down in the bottom with a 10mm wrench. Get that lower bolt out that connects the radiator to the condenser. Upside down I can get confused on which is tight and which way's loose. This is where I could have used a little swivel head wrench, would have been nice right about now. Very awkward positioning for this. All of these bolts are kind of crazy to get to. I got kind of fat hands. Sometimes I have a hard time getting these spaces. Pork chop fingers. Thank God for ratchet wrenches, huh? Oh, we got a visitor. My dog is down here. She likes to be my helper. I don't know if you guys can see her. Hi, honey bunny. Hi, poo-poo head. You come down to help Daddy? You like being outside with Daddy? Yes, you do. I know you do. Yes, you do. I'm all full of junk. I'm all yucky. You don't want to get your fur all yucky. Okay, we got one more to go. Up top. Oh no, on the bottom here, right? I'm getting confused. So confused. So confused. I don't know if you guys can even see anything down here. one of those. Do it by feel. Get your body contorted in a weird position where you're comfortable and do it by feel. I'd like to know how I'm going to get these back on here. That's what I want to know. How I'm ever going to get these bolts back in here. I can barely get them out. I don't know how I'm going to get them back in there. I'll try. I can only get back what I can get back. Driving me crazy, getting in my way. The body clip is moving again, so I'm hardly getting any rotation on this. Alright, I'm going to stop the video, guys, because I'm not going to torture you with all of this. It's going to take a while to get this out. Okay. I got 3 radiator and condenser bolts that hold the condenser to the radiator out on the passenger side, 2 on the driver's side. On both sides you have to get the 2 bottom ones from the bottom of the car. So it's best to jack this car up to do this job. Now this kind of snaps into these rubber grommets down here. First I got to get my upper radiator hose off. These come in real handy for radiator hose clamps, bent needle nose pliers. I like using them for this. They just work well. Again, I'll just make sure I can free that up a little bit with that pick tool. Just makes it easier to get it off. I was thinking I could have mentioned putting radiator hoses onto this guy because it would have been a good time to do that. But with this stupid car, it looks like you have to pull the intake manifold off to get to the radiator hose. What would actually be easier than that would be just disconnecting the thermostat housing, put a new thermostat in it, and pull the whole radiator hose out that way behind the intake manifold. So if you're going to do radiator hoses on yours, which I think you should do, it's a good time to do them, throw a thermostat in as well. Just remove that and snake that out. You can pull that overflow hose off and just snake that out and around, and then snake your new hose back in through there. Okay. Is there a third bolt in there? There is a third bolt in there. I'm sorry. There are 3 bolts on the driver's side as well. I missed one. It's right down on the bottom. Okay, that you can access from the front. let me get that out of the way. Maybe I can get in there with my automatic ratchet, I hope. Of course not. That would be too easy, right? That would be too easy. We don't want easy. Don't say easy. I said easy before I did this job. Never say easy before you start a job. Bite you in the ass every time. It'll get you every time. And they got that set back in there. Oh no, I gotta get that from the back, right? Yeah, I gotta get that from the back side. Oh, I missed that one, guys. We're going underneath. I'm not gonna waste your time with this. You gotta get that one from the bottom. Guys, I got that last bolt out, which was another pain in the ass, but I got the radiator out. It looks like the two bottom bolts hold the transmission cooler on, and the two upper bolts hold the condenser and a radiator together. All right, that's how that's thrown together. You got to get those rubber boots in those holes in the body there. Now I have the radiator out. I compared it to the other one. It looks like this model can go in one that has tranny cooler lines on it. You see the fittings on the bottom of the radiator, but it looks like it's compatible with this model as well. I guess they just changed that. That's the only difference on the radiator, is one had coolant lines and the other had an external transmission cooler. But they look like same bolt patterns and everything on here. So I'm gonna get ready to take that fan off and switch it over. Okay guys, it's all wrapped up underneath. That one bolt on the passenger side is physically impossible to get back in there. The only way to get that in would be removing the air conditioner compressor. And that's insanity. So that's not even possible, you know, on this job. That's absolutely absurd. I tried to put a zip tie in there. But you do what you can do, you know what I mean? Assembly is the reverse as this assembly. If anybody's not going to hang out for the rest of this, I want to thank you for watching. Please give a like and subscribe. Leave any comments, concerns, or suggestions below. You can find me on Patreon, Instagram, and Facebook. And thanks again for watching. Please share it with your friends. Help our channel grow. I hope I brought you some useful information. And take care. Let me know if it goes easier for you than it did for me. I'm hoping my little tips with those plugs help you guys. That was just about the most complicated part of this, was those damn plugs. It's kind of ridiculous. It's actually very ridiculous. Line this cross piece up with those top hits on that radiator. This is the fun part, putting it together and getting it out of here. I think this car may have a bad bulge on it. After I'm done here, I don't want this guy driving around in a dangerous car. That would be too cool, you know? That wouldn't be good at all.
Now we got to get our grill back on. I don't like removing that if it's avoidable. You got to make sure you get that right where it belongs, or you're going to have problems with your hood catch. Now there should have been an ambient pressure, ambient temperature sensor somewhere over here, but there wasn't. I don't know where that is. Get your little 7mm screws. I don't know what I do with my 7mm socket. Where is that? I know. Someday, my dream is to have a garage, nice compressor set up, have air, a lift. Then I could really be making some videos for this channel. I would love that to happen. Maybe when we get a little older and decide to move, I can find a house that I can set up like that. What I would really like to do, if I have this channel grow and I actually started to produce some income from YouTube, I'd like to get Patreons and supportive viewers to help me do some cause for some disabled or needy people. Find something from an auction or whatever, fix it up, get it together, and give it to somebody who's in bad shape that's trying to get their life on track, something they need to get to work or something. That'd be great, but we'll see if that ever comes to fruition. Things take time, right? I'm just glad that I get the positive comments I do from people now. I haven't had anybody troll me. Hopefully it'll stay that way. I'm not a negative person, and I don't try to put negativity out there. Now when you fill this up, I'm using press stone. I'm going to tell the owner, make sure he changes it at least every 3 years. It says 5 years, 100,000 miles. I like to do my coolant every 3 years. When you do put water in, do not put tap water or bottled spring water. The minerals, aluminum, and metals up in the cooling system. That's why these radiators go, and the heater cores. The heater cores are a nightmare. Labor-intensive job to do. You don't want to have to do a heater core. I sure as hell don't. On all of my vehicles, knock on wood, or a cruiser, I haven't had any of my heater cores go, and I change my coolant out every 3 years because after a while, with time and the change of temperature and everything, it actually turns acidic and starts to corrode your cooling system. And nobody wants that. See? I'm not lying. Distilled water and concentrated pressed stone. I swear by pressed stone. I don't use any Dextron, Dexcool. I don't trust. I've heard it turns corrosive. I run pressed stone in my Mercedes. I believe the Mercedes fluid's just hype and it costs more money. Put pressed stone in all my vehicles. Let me go get my funnel. I'll be right back. Hey guys, when you do this job, make sure you use eye protection when you're under this car. I'm wearing glasses and I still got debris in my eye. So, be safe. Eyes don't come easy, you know? Let me make sure that petcock is closed on that. I didn't check that. You never know. We don't want no antifreeze leaking all over the place, too. Make sure that's closed. Yep, it's closed. These are great funnels because they stop pouring when the coolant hits the top. Angle I got this on, I got some leakage taking place here. Everything's whacking on a Chrysler, huh? On a PT Cruiser anyway, right? Couldn't even get the damn radiator filler cap straight up. No way that's full with a half a gallon of fluid. That's impossible. Going with a little water. This is a small engine. It might not have that big of a volume. I'm going to run it. After I get some more fluid in there, I'm going to start it. I'm going to put the heater on high. You got to let it get up to normal operating temperature. Leave your heater on hot so you can get the air bubbles out of the heater core, And the engine, I may accelerate it a little bit up to like 2,500 RPMs. Get the fluid moving around, get all the air out. This seems a little easier to fill without the funnel. Seems like it's getting airbound. Burping a lot. Pour it in slow and easy. Out here today, it wasn't so nice. Better than it was last month, but I thought I was going to be basking in the sunshine, having a good old time out here. Instead, I got blown to bits, rust in my eye, and beat up by two connectors. Those connectors are crazy. Absolutely nuts. Alright. Looks like this is almost full. I'm going to start the engine, let it run. I want that thermostat to open. Let me go get the key. A lot of air coming out. Load of air bubbles. We hope that stops. We don't want air bubbles continually. Then it's a head gasket going on. Lower that fan inside on the heater a little bit. Just put it on full hot though. You can lower the fan a little. I blowing so much that the engine doesn't get up to normal operating temperature. If anybody's still here watching, I'm surprised you're hanging in there. I enjoy watching car repair videos. I watch Erico from South Main Auto, Eric the Car Guy, Legit Street Cars, a few other ones. Schrodinger's Box. He's good. He teaches people theory. I want to start doing that. I'm going to go into the basic operations of the engine, explaining why a four-stroke is called a four-stroke, how the valve train operates, the difference between valve train timing and ignition timing, how the different sensors communicate with the engine control module, what they do, how a fuel injection system operates. I'm hoping you guys would like seeing some of that stuff. I'm sorry I don't have the active animations like I've seen on some shows that have models that move and show you all the things. I'm going to have to do it with my half-ass drawings on my whiteboard. But it beats a blank, right? Alright guys, that's topped off. I'm going to make sure that I have heat through my defroster and to the floor. And that's how you put a radiator in a PT Cruiser. Thanks again for watching, guys. Take care. Have a good day. And remember, take good care of your cars, they'll take good care of you. Bye-bye.